Today, we are going to delve into the fascinating world of the lictors, who were the fearsome elite bodyguards that served Rome's prominent kings. Join us as we delve into the intriguing history of these individuals, as well as their responsibilities and the fasces that represent them. Consequently, everyone should get comfortable and get ready for an amazing story about the lectors of ancient Rome. Before we can fully understand the significance of the lictors, we need to first comprehend the function that they played in Roman society. The lictors were an exclusive and esteemed group of bodyguards that acted as the personal defenders of powerful Roman magistrates, consuls, and other high-ranking officials throughout Roman times. They were known as the lictors. The beginning of the lictors may be traced back to the early days of the Roman Republic. During this time, they played an important part in upholding the authority of the city's authorities and in preserving order inside the city. The importance of the lictors' position in Roman governance and security was reflected in the breadth and difficulty of the duties and responsibilities they were expected to fulfill. The personal safety of the magistrates that the lictors were responsible for serving was at the very heart of the responsibilities that were placed on them. They organized themselves into a strong security detail, and they were prepared to defend their leaders no matter the cost. The unflinching allegiance and dedication of the lictors to the people under their care made them indispensable companions to Rome's most influential individuals. The lictors were more than just bodyguards for the judges. In addition, they represented the power that the magistrates had in their hands. The Roman public was compelled to show both reverence and dread in response to the sight of the towering fasces worn by the lictors. The citizens of Rome were constantly reminded of the power of the magistrates and the repercussions of breaking Roman law by the presence of the lictors at public gatherings and official functions. The lictors were responsible for carrying out the punishments that were decreed by the magistrates, in addition to the protective and symbolic functions that were assigned to them. In instances of very heinous crimes or disobedience, the lictors were the ones to carry out the sanctions, which may involve anything from whipping to the death penalty. This facet of their function served to further highlight the seriousness with which the Roman legal system was to be approached. The fasces, which is a bundle of wooden rods tied by a scarlet strap and has an axe sticking out of it, is the most recognizable symbol that is associated with the lictors. The fasces, which stood for the authority of the magistrates and the cohesion of the Roman state, was imbued with a profound significance in Roman culture. The fasces was a sign that represented the authority of the magistrate to uphold the law and administer justice. It served as a symbol of the imperium, which was the magistrate's all-encompassing governmental authority. The number of fasces carried by the lictors was an indication of the magistrate's level of authority. Higher-ranking officials had a larger number of lictors in their retinues. The bound rods of the fasces represented the idea that unity and power can be achieved by the efforts of many people working together. It was a symbol of the Roman concept of e pluribus unum, which translates to out of many one. The fasces was a sign that represented the idea that Rome's power came from the concord and collaboration of its citizens, who toiled in concert with one another under the direction of their rulers. The role of the lictors changed over time as a result of the transition from the Roman Republic to the Roman Empire, in order to accommodate the development of new political systems. The job of the lictors grew with the ascent of the Roman emperors to include the protection of the emperor and his family. This new responsibility was given to the lictors. The lictors continued to play an essential role in the imperial court, performing duties such as watching out for the emperor's well-being and ensuring that they retained their influence. Because of the internal strife and external dangers that the Roman Empire had to contend with, the importance and relevance of the lictors began to decline. The imperial guards, also known as the Praetorian Guard, progressively took over the protective tasks previously performed by the lictors, which marked a reduction in the status of the lictors. In spite of the fact that their power waned, the legacy of the lictors lingered on, imprinting Roman history and iconography in a way that cannot be erased. The fasces remained an important emblem in Roman culture throughout the empire's history, serving to convey the concepts of authority, unity, and strength. The fasces was incorporated into many facets of Roman culture, such as the city's architecture, its art, and even some of the emblems used by contemporary governments. The lictors and their fasces came to represent the core principle of Roman governance, which was a harmony between power, authority, and the power of the people as a whole. The legacy of the lictors serves to bring to our attention the intricate and multifaceted nature of the political and social structures that existed in ancient Rome. A significant component of Roman government was symbolized by the lictors and the fasces that they carried symbolically. The lictors were the personal bodyguards of high-ranking Roman magistrates and, subsequently, the emperors. They exemplified the authority, unity, and collective might that were essential to Roman rule. The imperium, or supreme executive power, of the magistrates was represented by the fasces, which included bound rods and an axe that protruded forward. Each Roman magistrate was vested with imperium, which endowed them with the power to uphold the law, oversee the administration of justice, and make executive decisions on behalf of the Roman state. The appearance of lictors carrying the fasces acted as a visual reminder of the authority of the magistrates and their ability to use the power that the Roman state possessed. It instilled a sense of authority and respect among the Roman public, which in turn pushed them to submit out of fear and obedience. In Roman government, the concept of oneness was symbolized by the rods of the fasces being tied together. It expressed the idea that Rome's strength did not lie in the authority of a one leader, but rather in the collective activity of its people, working together for the common good. This was an important message for the Romans to understand. The Romans held the belief that the only way their republic could prosper was if its members worked together under the direction of their democratically elected leaders. The fact that the lictors carried the fasces while representing the magistrates was evidence that the magistrates gained their authority from the Roman people and that their actions were performed for the benefit of the state. In addition, the fasces was a symbol of the administration of justice as well as the rule of law. The ability of the magistrates to carry out punishments, including the death penalty for particularly egregious offenses, was symbolized by the axe that protruded from the bundle of rods. The Roman citizenry were given a sharp reminder of the consequences of breaking the law and the impartiality of Roman justice when the duty of the lictors was given the responsibility of carrying out the sentences. It emphasized the notion that no one, regardless of their social rank, was above the law, and that everyone was subject to its jurisdiction. A precarious equilibrium of power was maintained within the Roman government by virtue of the presence of lictors and the fasces. The political system of ancient Rome was devised with the goal of preventing any one person from amassing excessive power or ruling as a tyrant. Each magistrate, whether a consul, praetor, or other official, had their very own set of lictors and fasces at their disposal. On the other hand, the number of lectors varied depending on the position and office of the magistrates, which helped to maintain a distinct hierarchy within the Roman administration. The role of the lictors was also limited to certain circumstances and functions, which ensured that they did not infringe on the power of other magistrates or interfere with the procedures of the legislative or judicial branches of government. The way Roman authority was symbolized through the lictors and the fasces left an indelible mark on Roman culture and symbolism that has persisted to this day. The fasces came to be recognized as a formidable sign of Roman authority, and the imagery of the fasces was infused into many facets of Roman life, such as the nation's architecture, art, and even its military insignia. The ancient Romans had a phrase that they called e pluribus unum, which translates to out of many one. This phrase gave voice to the idea of unity and collective power. This statement encapsulated the concept that the Roman people, who originated from many different places and had many different histories, joined together as one to build a powerful and cohesive state. The illustrious history of the lictors, the most prestigious bodyguards of ancient Rome, has now been brought to a close. The lictors played an essential part in Roman governance and culture, both in terms of the actual protective tasks they were responsible for and the symbolic fasces they held. We are grateful that you could spend this exciting adventure with us traveling through Roman history. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this video so that we can continue to uncover the secrets of our history. Keep your natural sense of curiosity alive and never stop marveling at the achievements of bygone civilizations till we meet again. Goodbye.